What is up, everybody? Welcome to the All Punked Up Podcast. I'm Tyler Winters. John Pierman is here as usual, and good show for you today. I'm very happy to report, John and I both are very happy to report, that blink-182 have officially announced when the album's going to drop, which is October 20th. Just going to let you all know that right now in case you somehow missed it this week. But they also dropped not one, but two songs. John, you were right about that from last week. You thought they were going to be dropping multiple songs. So we were right about one thing. One thing we were wrong about was the release date of One More Time.
Yeah, way off.
Blink-182. Only off by a week.
Yeah.
But I liked your theory. 182 days after their Coachella performance. It made sense. That would have been October 13th.
Well, I think the health scare pushed it back. It was supposed to be the 13th, but then...
Yeah, that lasted about a week, so that makes sense. So we were right. We were right. Just things happened.
Yep.
Well, we promised if they were going to release some new music that we would review the new music. So we've got two songs that we're going to review today. This is going to be a heavy Blink-182 show. So, John, let's just get to it. The first song we're going to talk about is One More Time. They also released a music video for this one. John and I were kind of talking back and forth when this song came out, and we both had a listen. I don't know how you feel about it right now, John, but I was surprised at your feelings initially. So I'm curious to know if those still ring true and if we're going to have an argument. Okay, so we're probably going to have an argument. Okay.
Yep.
Do you want me? I'm going to go first.
Please.
I'm going to praise the band and everything. I'm going to go first, and we'll hear your rebuttal.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say that this song, I think it's very emotional. One thing that really stood out to me is the fact that Tom, it's a slow song for those who haven't heard it yet. Tom starts out singing the first verse. Mark comes in singing the second verse. Mark and Tom both sing the third verse. And Travis sings a little bit towards the end, and they all sing together at one point during the song, which I think it really kind of captures the essence of what they are trying to give off with this song. So I, for one, got literal chills. When I first heard it, I watched the music video that goes along with it. So I got chills throughout. And I do think too, real quick, that I think that this song is for the long-time Blink fans. Like, they're the ones that are going to get emotional the most during this song. I don't think the newerish Blink fans can really feel what this song does more than people who have been following them for a long time. And that's not to knock it. It's just we've been on this journey with Blink since 1998 or 97 or whenever it was that, they started getting more popular. At least for me, I could say 97. I know there's been even longer term fans. But I guess I should say the song is about friendship and like best friendship, and I think that is so special. And the fact that, like I said, Travis is even singing on this track too makes this song and video hit so much stronger.
Singing.
Yes, singing. It's not like he has a big part and, he's a little auto-tuned, but whatever.
A little.
I will say that the song, in general, there isn't anything special musically or structure-wise. It's a very simple tune. I don't know about you. I was getting self-titled vibes a little bit, but I think that this is better than that. And I'm just going to throw it out there so then you can go on your spiel. I'm going to argue that this is one of their best tunes they've ever written. I think Mark was right when he came out and he said, when he was hyping up the song, he says that this is on the Mount Rushmore of Blink songs. And I think he nailed it. I think he's 100% correct. It's a very solid song. And the fact that they're talking about friendship and how each member has gone through something horrific in the past. And it's, Mark's most recent battle with cancer. It got Tom to realize some things. Hey, there's something bigger here than whatever it is I'm doing. friendship is so important. I got to get back with the guys. And that's basically kind of what it's all about, this reunion and friendship being number one. And yeah, I mean, I got emotional during this one, but go ahead and tear it down, John.
To me, it sounded like somebody got on ChatGPT and said, ChatGPT, write me a song about, like what happened with Blink over like the last couple years. And that's the quality of the lyrical content that I got. Just on the nose, not subtle.
But I think that's what they were going for. They wanted to be honest.
That's fine. It was just so on the nose and shoehorned. Like there was parts that were shoehorned in lyrically. Like it just felt like it was written by ChatGPT to me.
Okay.
And this is the second song I've heard where the drum, obviously it's a super slow song, but I just want more from Travis.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but like you say, it is a slow song, so you don't want the drums to be too much because it'll take away from the vibe and the emotion that they're trying to. They want you to listen to the lyrics, I think. So that's why there's nothing crazy musically going on.
No, it just concerns me overall because I don't think that the drumming and edging was, super adventurous either to me.
No, but I mean, what would you say that? Let's say when you look back at Enema of the State or Take Off Your Pants and Jacket or the self-titled album, that the drumming was like crazy good throughout the whole album, every song? Or
I mean, through those three records, I would argue yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's not a lull in his drumming. I mean, there's like acoustic songs on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket where I would say it was more like kind of what this was.
Sure. Okay.
That's just me nitpicking, but also, like with the video, it's like it's clear that Tom's playing an acoustic guitar in the song. Like,
right? Yeah.
Can we find him an acoustic guitar?
Right. No, I hear you.
It just felt like they had just stand here, guys, for like 30 minutes. Let's do this real quick, and then we'll put a bunch of old shit behind you that'll make people nostalgic.
Well, but didn't they nail it though? I feel like they nailed it.
I mean, the visuals are. I got more out of the little 2-minute interview bit that they did talking about it.
Okay,
than
so
any of the songs.
Okay,
I didn't get anything from the song just because there's complex emotions that could be discussed in a complex or like abstract way, and they're just doing it in a very concrete and like easy to digest way. Like this is exactly what happened. Mark had cancer. Travis was on fire in a plane. Yeah. Now we're friends. We all know that. So like,
right. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah. No, that is kind of an interesting take because, and I think you're right in that regard. Not that I think that it's a bad thing, but when songs live on when they're relatable to the people listening. Now, this song is relatable in the sense that we all know what happened. Us longtime fans, but if we go to, 10 years from now and you got these new kids finding Blink, the song's not going to hit for them. They're gonna be like, what is this? So I hear you on that. Maybe that hurts the song in the long term. But it's definitely like almost like it's sort of a nostalgia type song in a way, but it's just for like the current moment of fans. I think
it's just too on the nose for me.
Yeah, I get that. I
especially like first video. Well, it's not the first video, but right before. It's just like,
yeah. But it is nice. I liked it, and maybe this was, it's for them, and it's for the fans that have been following them for so long. So I think I do think in that sense they nailed it. For me, I loved it though. I think it is up there with one of the Mount Rushmore of songs, like Mark said. It's definitely up there.
I have to disagree with Mark.
Fair enough. Now, one thing I want to do before we move on to the next song is we got to mention the numbers for this song. So obviously, people have been anticipating this for a very long time. Edging came out in October of 2022. We are at the end of September 2023. So we had almost a year in between releases here. So, you can understand that the numbers are going to be inflated because of that. But man, check this out. So like in the first 24 hours that One More Time was released, the song topped the US YouTube charts with over 2 million views. It also hit number 1 on the iTunes charts. I feel like not only does this show that like new Blink music was highly anticipated, but it means people were listening multiple times, which in turn means people were liking what they were hearing. At least that's how I take that. It also says that, or I also have here that currently One More Time has 2.5 million streams on Spotify and 4.3 million views on YouTube as of September 23rd when we are recording this episode. So those are big time numbers, though. I mean, I know it's blink-182. I mean, they're like one of the top 2 best pop punk bands of all time. So I guess it makes sense. It's only been released for 2 days and they've got these crazy numbers. But I mean, I think that kind of goes to show that, I think people are liking this song.
Somebody likes it.
Well, and what's crazy too is when we go to the most viewed videos in the past 24 hours, so this is after its release, they were beating out Doja Cat, who's been in the news. She just released her new album. Who else are they beating? Post Malone, Adele, Wiz Khalifa, The Weeknd. And then if you go to the iTunes top songs chart after 24 hours of the release of the song, they're beating out Doja Cat, Zach Bryan, who's a country singer, Oliver Anthony, who's been in the news for his Rich Men North of Richmond. That song just blew up. Kane Brown, Earth, Wind, and Fire for some reason is in the top 10 with September.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. So plus with all the weddings going on, that's a big one, especially in September. So I mean, they're beating out big names. And also the next song that we're going to talk about, More Than You Know, was also on the iTunes top songs coming in at number 7. So I mean, definitely a successful few days for Blink. So definitely love to see it. Everybody's hyped right now.
Everybody.
Except you. Everybody except you, I said. All right. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next song, which I think I'm going to have to take a listen to.
I need to, too.
Okay. So let's take a break and listen to it. All right. So we just listened to it. Okay. So Blink-182 is More Than You Know, the second song they dropped this week on September 21st. John, I'll let you go first. I figured you'd like the drums a little bit more on this one, having listened to this.
I like that there's some drumming. I wish it wasn't so overproduced.
Wow.
Just the snare sounds bother me. I just play the drums. It's not necessary. Just play them. They sound great when you play them. Like when you overproduce them like that, you lose all of like his touch and.
Well, I think Travis is the one producing this record.
I think that might be the problem.
Okay, I mean maybe. I think they sound fine. I mean,
the song's fine.
No, I meant I think the drums sound fine.
No, they sound like drums do now. That's the problem.
That's true. Yeah, they do. I was going to say they don't sound
like modern drums.
They don't sound like Blink drums from Enema and Take Off Your Pants era, Blink-182.
No, but they don't even sound like Neighborhood.
Okay, well, okay, it's funny you bring up Neighborhoods because I feel like this song does have Neighborhoods.
It does
feel.
to me too. Yeah.
Okay, all right. The song is much faster. It's definitely punk. Definitely a heavy, edgier song. I think I like the sound of the drums, but I've also grown accustomed to the new sound of pop punk over the last few years. So I think maybe it resonates with me a little bit more. I know I'm trying to get you into the new wave of pop punk. But for me overall, dude, I think the song is just fine. Like this song doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't move the needle for me, but I mean, it sounds like a Blink song. It sounds like to me, an album filler. It's not great. It's not bad. It's there. It's probably going to need to be on the album. I will say that I feel like Tom's singing is much better now than I like it more than I do on Self-Titled and anything after. Even better than Angels and Airwaves, better than his most recent Angels and Airwaves album. So I think Tom sounds really good. So I like that for the upcoming album. So I'll say that. But
No, this is definitely more up my alley and more of what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Maybe these songs were. There's a little strategy here because you got Edging, which seemed like a poppy Blink song, like what a poppy Blink song would be. Then you get a slowed down Adams song type feel of a song, and then you get a more punk Blink with this release. So the first 3 songs from the album sound nothing alike. It just sounds like Blink-182 overall. So very interesting, I think. But overall, you would say More Than You Know is better than One More Time for you.
To me, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because you were just hoping for a more punchy, loud Blink song?
I don't mind a slow song. It was just lyrically, it just didn't do anything for me. So.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense.
When if you compare it to a song like "I Miss You," that's really like the verses are really vague and like open to interpret. They're just weird.
They are very, very weird, and I would argue that those lyrics aren't very good, but I know a lot of people like them. But they're just so weird for me.
Still resonates 20 years later with people though, and even though it's just weird lyrics. Yeah.
It does. I mean, and hey, it's arguably one of their biggest songs ever.
That's right.
So I mean, I'm not going to argue that. The lyrics don't do it for me. So, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just when I heard the lyrics of this song, I was like, yeah, I know all that.
Yeah. No, I get it. It is too on the nose and too specific. There's not going to be a lot of relatability there for somebody else's life. It's just relatable in a sense that we know the story and yeah.
Well, and I mean, you think about when they got back together the first time, it was kind of because of what happened with Travis, and then the second time was kind of what happened with. But I mean, everybody, I know that.
Yeah.
I think everybody pretty much knows that.
Yeah.
At least the latter. I mean, they might not remember that Travis had the plane crash, but I mean, they probably know because they watch fucking Kardashians now, and he's all over that. And they talked about it on there. So
yeah, exactly. But I do think that the song, One More Time, it's just them telling their story, and it's just what it is. You got to take it for face value, I guess.
Yeah, if that opened the album and then it just divulged into all like faster, I'd be all right with it. Like as an opener, because like this is what this shit's about. That's fine.
Right. And let's see. I will say, too, we should talk a little bit about the upcoming album because the album is going to be titled One More Time. And it's going to be released on October 20th. What's the most interesting thing here is there are 17 tracks that are going to be on this album, and it's going to open with Anthem Part 3. So let's see. More Than You Know is coming in at number 6. It follows up One More Time. So these songs do come after each other. Edging comes in at number 9. It's smack dab in the middle. So I don't know. It's very interesting. 17 songs. We've been waiting a long time. I guess that's good, right? I mean, they clearly were working. They weren't trying to just release a 10-song album.
Yeah,
so
I'm guessing it's going to be over. I've already seen some pre-orders for vinyl. I'm guessing it's going to be over two records, but
well, they had pre-releases for vinyl a long time ago when Tom joined or when they dropped Edging or whatever. So it's been available for a long time. But too that they're going to have bonus material. I'm sure there are going to be some B-sides to this album that they'll release after the fact. That's just the going rate, unless maybe they have to write them still. Who knows? But I would expect that too. So, and it looks like one of those songs on here is an interlude at number 13. It's called Hurt. So not sure what that is.
Could be a 9 Inch Nails cover.
Let's hope. So yeah, October 20th, everybody mark your calendars because One More Time, Blink-182's comeback album. I'm just going to call it a comeback album because that's what it is for me. So,
Oh, it's what it is for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless they're passionate fans of Skiba.
And there are plenty, but we're not going to get into that.
No, that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah, and you'll never get me on that train. Never get me on that train.
You're not going to get skeeved.
I'm not going to get skeeved.
Like Alkaline Trio, all right. I mean,
Alkaline Trio's okay. I never got into them, though. Just Never got into it for many reasons. And maybe we should have a bonus episode on that one day, but not right now.
About how you hate Alkaline Trio?
I don't hate them. It's just I never got into them. And there's reasons why I didn't care for the Skiba era of Blink.
Right. Well, I mean, I can talk all day about that.
Yeah, we will. Maybe we will one day.
Writing songs about...
Okay, yep. I know. It wasn't a good era. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm talking specifically about 9.
Yeah, well, that album, California, just...
I never heard California.
They're fine. The songs are fine. They're there. They exist. Great. Push them aside and let's get to this One More Time album. And forget that other era even ever existed. There. That's good enough for right now. All right. Let's get to some news, John.
Okay.
So Revenue is apparently in the U.S.
Is this a band named
No.
Revenue? Oh.
But that would be good.
Okay.
But in the U.S., revenue in the music industry hit an all-time high. And this is across at least 3 different avenues of retail, streaming, vinyl. So let me read.
Does it include ticket sales?
I think it probably does. And if it doesn't, obviously ticket sales have got to be the highest that they've ever been, because of Beyonce and Taylor Swift
and
alone.
Inflation.
And blink-182 came back too, and inflation, exactly. And the stupid dynamic pricing that Ticketmaster had.
And inflation's not a band. We're just talking about the idea of it.
I mean, it's probably a band. Gotta be. Yeah. In fact.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, you look it up while I read this article from NME. They say revenue in the U.S. music industry has reached its highest level since records began. It says retail revenue, which includes revenue from customer streaming services, jumped 9.3% to an all-time high of $8.4 billion in revenue, while wholesale revenue is up 8.3% to $5.3 billion. And John, you're motioning to me, is Inflation a band?
Yes, they have 0 monthly listeners, but there is a band called Inflation.
All right, guys, all punked up listeners, let's do Inflation a solid. Type them into Spotify. Let's give them a spin. How many songs do they have? Do they have any albums?
I'm not seeing any material. Just the name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of other artists with Inflation in the title, but that's the only one with just Inflation.
Fair enough. Okay.
I have Inflation Richardson, like his first name's Inflation.
Oh.
Oh my God! Oh dear Lord!
What'd you get?
The photo.
What do you got? Oh my!
Need that to come in.
Oh dear.
Jesus.
Okay.
No reason to describe that. Okay.
All right. Moving on. Streaming revenue increased to $7 billion, which makes up 84% of music revenue in the United States. And then vinyl continued to enjoy growth in revenue, with physical formats hitting the highest revenue since 2013, John. So they came in at $882 million. In total, 72% of physical media sales were for vinyl, bringing in $632 million of that. So
one has to remember that doesn't include used music either.
Very true.
So, I mean, you can multiply that, tenfold from people buying used records. So.
Absolutely. So there is a market out there, guys. If you have old material that you're just trying to get rid of, you could sell it. Now, it also says that 23 million albums were sold last year on vinyl formats compared to 15 million CDs. So even there's even a market for CDs right now, which I think is just crazy.
Well, I think a lot of artists have gone to doing like signed CDs to try to increase sales of CDs. So they'll sign like 1,000 CDs and release them to like independent stores.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the retail space is interesting. I love that people are out, buying stuff, supporting the acts, especially smaller acts. And I think that this should be, I mentioned retail, and I think that this is a good time to bring up a little segue, if you will. I mentioned maybe a couple months ago that we were thinking about opening the All Punked Up merch store again. And I've been working on doing that, been working on some designs. We are going to be launching the merch store again. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that this coming week, so be on the lookout. If you just keep going to store.allpunkedup.com, just check it once a day, see if it's up. That will take you to the merch store eventually. We're going to have hoodies, we're going to have sweatshirts, we're going to have long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, crop tops, mugs, beanies, hats, you name it. We're going to have all those things. We're bringing back some of the old designs that did well on the old store, so we're going to sell those again. But we also have some new designs as well. There's a couple Halloween shirts, so you might want to get those, order those before... You want to give yourself enough time to get those before, Halloween comes. So yeah, give yourself some time for those to ship to you. So guys, if you could, definitely check out the store. I'll definitely follow us on the socials because I will definitely let you know right when it launches. But man, this is definitely a way to help support us. We do have a subscriber option for the podcast where you can, I say it all the time, for as little as $3 a month, you can help support this podcast. So if you didn't want to subscribe, this is just another way that you can help, All Punked Up live on, continue on, and you get something in return too. So like an actual physical item. So definitely go check out the designs. If you like them, please purchase. And, you'll see the price for these. And just so you know, full disclosure, we don't see all of that price. We get a portion of that price. Our vendor who does all these gets the majority. So, but some does go back to us, and it's just going to go straight back into All Punked Up, so we can help grow this thing. And anyways,
maybe your half.
Right. Yeah. The John's taking it to the bank, his half to the bank. But yeah. So guys, your support would be greatly appreciated. You have no idea. It would mean the world. Okay. So
buy some shit.
Back to revenue. Streaming numbers are up. Record labels are getting so much freaking money from streaming nowadays. We all know that the artists are paid shit in this area. I think this means that it's probably a good time to start paying these artists more, right, John? Like, obviously the money is there.
It's long overdue.
It's long overdue. Man, I could not imagine being an artist right now. It has to be, one, so expensive to even get the quality of music recorded that you want. So it's like, it's got to be tough. And touring, who knows how much they make? You got to pay everybody. The venues are taking their cut of merch. It's insane, guys.
And the ticket market's crazy.
Ticket market is nuts. So guys, helping our retail store, helping support us is great. But you also got to get out there and you got to help support the artists that you like. But man, record labels, for God's sakes, give your artists something back, like Jesus. I mean, I just couldn't imagine being an artist right now.
I feel like we're shouting at the ocean or something like this.
I know they don't care, but it's like, it's just crazy. It's just, they're their bread and butter, like, to making money, and they're not paying them, It's that corporate America.
God damn it.
Yeah. Anyways, vinyl's doing well. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. Even I'm getting into vinyl, which is just nuts. And it's because it's not a cheap hobby by any means.
That's correct.
But it's really good to see. Music is alive and well, everybody. So, but I think what this tells us is that, the record labels have to start paying the artists more. Like, give them a fair cut, for God's sakes. Or else. We're going to sign them to All Punked Up Records. Mm-hmm. We're coming.
I wonder if that factored in podcast numbers, or does that exclude it? I mean, from streaming.
I doubt it. I think it's just looking straight at music.
Sure. Padding the numbers.
Well, maybe Spotify adds it all. That seems like something they would do.
No.
All right. John, another thing that happened this week, a fan brought a dog to a Motionless in White show and then got berated by the band's drummer. So let me fill everybody in on this. This comes from Consequence. They say a fan thought it was a good idea to bring his dog to Motionless in White's show this past Sunday, September 16th, but ended up getting berated by the metal band's drummer on social media. Video footage shows a guy holding his golden retriever on top of his shoulders in the middle of the pit during Motionless in White's performance and eventually making his way to the front barricade just a few feet away from the stage. Motionless in White drummer said, "Seeing the dog in the pit at our Scranton show really bummed me out, and I want to go on record to say, unless your dog is literally deaf and blind and somehow also loves to be held in the air for 3 hours, do not bring them to a show, headphones or not." And I think it's interesting to note that upon seeing the video, the article goes on to say, other people shared their concerns about the dog, with one commenting, "The person who took the dog needs to be found and arrested for animal cruelty and maybe given a good kicking." Another remarked, "We watched the man walk the dog down to the pit earlier in the day and was shocked he was allowed to bring the dog down there, period. I was sad to see later that the dog was in the air and had no protection during sets. So awful and unfair." First of all, I say settle down, PETA, especially the one that said that the guy needs to be arrested for animal cruelty.
I mean, it's not a safe place for a dog.
No, it's not. I don't think it's animal cruelty, though. The dog was not being abused. I don't think it's smart to bring a dog.
Hypersensitive hearing. It's probably auditory abuse.
Well, maybe, I guess. I do think it is dumb, though. Unless you need to have a service dog or something. Why the hell are you bringing a dog to a concert in the first place?
I could see it like a festival, like with a lawn or something like that.
But if you're far back, I mean, and away from people. But also, dude, like dogs, if they feel threatened at all, like they can be dangerous. Dogs can be dangerous.
They'll bite a hippie's dick off.
I've seen it many times, actually. Mm-hmm. I mean, not even at a concert, just like walking down the street.
And just lunges at a street person.
Yeah, bites the dick right off, and then
right for the dick.
Right for the every time too. And it's just really wild.
Just toss it into the air.
Yeah, like a killer whale on one of those.
Just for sport. Like they're not trying to eat it. They're not trying to eat your dick.
No, they're not weird.
No,
that's just weird.
They're just biting it off for sport and fun.
Yeah, and showing off. It's like an alpha male type thing.
I feel like they track like distance on the throw and then communicate it with other dogs.
Yeah, like Fido threw that dick 30 feet. Mm-hmm. What do you got, Lucky?
Well, I mean, some of the numbers are going to be metric. I mean, depending on where the dog's coming from. But.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Good point, man.
Yeah.
English bulldogs, they have a different...
I bet there were some dogs at Woodstock, Oh,
absolutely.
It was like a big fucking campground. I mean, there's some dogs. I'm going to have to go back and watch the movie, see if I can spot a dog.
Yeah. But I think you're wise in saying, the dogs do have sensitive hearing. So that is, I could see that being abuse. I stand corrected. But I don't know that it was like, it's not intended abuse. I don't think the guy needs to be arrested. I don't think he needs to be kicked. We don't fight abuse with abuse, people. Guys, don't bring your dogs to concerts. One, it's just weird. And, the dog doesn't want to be there anyway.
Could have been a Baja Men concert, and then they'd...
That's probably the only time you should bring a dog to a concert. Mm-hmm. The only time. The only acceptable time. All right. John, let's go ahead and close this one out. This was a fun one. We talked about Blink. Talked about revenue in the U.S.
I didn't shit all over it like I thought I was going to. I was really going to go after it hard.
That was pretty meaty, I felt. Okay. I felt like it was a good... solid shit on top of that song. I think that's exactly what you did.
Healthy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you're definitely eating your veggies.
Thanks.
It was good. It's good. I'm going to go ahead and close it out then. All right.
So, you do that.
All right, guys. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're really digging our show, please consider helping us spread the word and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts and or on Spotify. A 5-star review is always greatly appreciated. And please let us know. Please, 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 because this is your show too. Let us know what you like most about the show and what you'd like to hear more of. We do it for you guys, not for us. So
tell me why I'm wrong.
Tell John why he's wrong. I try to tell him why he's wrong, but sometimes it doesn't work. I need the help. So with that, thanks again, and remember, spread love. Peace.